Yellow! I'm sorry for having literally no glam on right now. NYX is a universally well-known drugstore, affordable beauty brand. I have personally used some of NYX products, and I think a lot of people can agree with me that it's either a hit or miss. Sometimes you get like a really good product, and sometimes you get a really like crappy product. So I woke up this morning, I do what I usually do, I quickly check up on social media. And I go onto Trendmood's Instagram page and I see like a picture of a new eyeshadow palette coming. And then I go onto a different post that they posted, multiple eyeshadow palettes from NYX. And I think a lot of people are going to be pumped for this because it's not like they're like releasing one, they're releasing multiples. And each palette that they are releasing, a beauty influencer collaborated with NYX to create a certain eyeshadow palette. So that makes people a little more excited because now they can kind of like purchase a palette from, you know, one of their fave YouTubers. So it's kind of like a little more like intimate, it becomes a little more personal because you watch the person. NYX is releasing a bunch of eyeshadow palettes and the collection is called the Element Collection. If you were to define element really means a part of a certain aspect. So by that, I kind of like looked at the pictures quickly just to kind of see like what they mean by Element Collection. And each palette stands for something along the lines of nature. So one palette is based off of earth, one palette is based off of air, one palette is based off of water, then there's fire, so kind of like all these natural aspects. The idea is really unique, it's cool, I've never personally seen that before, and I think it's like an awesome way of creating a palette because then you kind of know what kind of color scheme you're going into, right? So if you think about like fire, you're gonna have like orangey yellows and reds. If you think about earth, you're going to have more like greens, more like, I'm gonna say like grays and silvers, and then if you have water, obviously you have blues. So the first post that Trendmood posted, here I could show you. I could also insert pictures on the screen like I normally do. So this one kind of gives you like a little collage of all the different palettes. In this picture, I see the water element, the fire element, and the earth element. Like I suggested, or not like I suggested, like I predicted, I suppose. The water element is very blue. There is a lot of aqua-based colors. You have a royal blue, you have like a turquoise-ish kind of color, you have a very like light blue, like a sky blue color, then you have like a dark blue. So you have everything within that little region of blues. So fires, you have your mustard yellow, you have your like corally pink, you have your like orange, you have your browns. Anything that you would assume that fire colors would look like, this palette provides you with. So then I'm swiping over and there's more. I thought there would only be 4. Okay, so now there's a wind element, there is a metal element, and then there is an air element. So once again, everything is based off of like natural aspects. The metal element is a bunch of shimmery shades. They kind of look like foil shades, which makes sense. Like when you think of metal, you think of kind of like there's like a sheen to it, like a little bit of a shine. So it makes sense that they're gonna be like providing you with a whole glitter palette, which once again, I hate entire glitter palettes because you don't have transition shades or you don't have like at least one matte shade. It's just like kind of like pointless to me. And now it's going to tell you which beauty influencer is collaborating with which palette. Crispy is collaborating with the water palette. I love Sarah E. I don't really know. It's not that I know. I know of her. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Is collaborating with fire. Alyssa Ashley is collaborating with air, so she's doing the more pastel colors. Jamie Genevieve, girl, I hope that's how you pronounce it, is collaborating with the metal palette, the metal. Samantha, with a bunch of like S's and A's and stuff, is collaborating with the earth palette. Then Promise Tamang, girl, I don't know, is with the wind palette. Would I purchase any of the Element Collection palettes for myself? Girl, the thing is, it really depends. Like I said, NYX is a hit or miss kind of brand, so, and especially with their eyeshadows, girl. So I don't know, I feel like I'd have to go into store and like swatch the palettes to see if they're like blending okay on like my skin, if they're like the opacity is alright. If I have the money, I will splurge on a good eyeshadow palette. That's how I see it. Obviously, I'm not somebody who has like tons of money and is always gonna be buying like this palette, that palette from Sephora, from Nordstrom, from anything that provides you with high-end brands. I tend to stay away from drugstore palettes because most of the time they're not like good. But the thing is, I really like the fire palette. So if I was to get any of the palettes, I would get the more warmer shades. I'm not into the whole cooler shades like the earth palette, like all of those. This palette will be available on September 4th. Wow, that's actually like really soon. So it is the fall 2017 collection, which is nice. I think it's a good way to start off like the new school year, and if anybody has like a new job or internship, the new like job year. And it provides you with a bunch of palettes, so it kind of is very versatile for those people who like all different kinds of colors. Prices weren't listed below, but I do assume that they will be at least under $30. I will be purchasing the Fire palette. I think a lot of people are going to be similar who like the modern Renaissance feel, the Morphe 350 feel, will be leaning towards that palette. The other ones are kind of irrelevant to me, especially the metals one. Like, you really can't make a whole eye look with a metals and entire shimmer palette. Anyways, girl, if anybody's watching me, if anybody's ever watching me, I will talk to y'all in the next video. TTYLs.